anybody remember why we're doing this? Oh, for education, and it's really to see how clean our water is, right? So if we find a lot of macros or species, that are super intolerant of pollution, that means they need really clean water. So if we find them, what does that say about our water?
It's clean.
Yeah. So my name is Lucia Ruggiero. I am the Delaware Bayshore Program Director for the American Littoral Society, and my main focus is stormwater. So what I do is help communities manage their stormwater through what's green infrastructure. The work that we do is primarily focused in the southwestern part of the state, which is hugely agricultural, but then has these great urban pockets like Bridgeton, like Vineland, like Salem City, and we have several important rivers that flow through them, all feeding into the bay. So you've got the Salem River, you've got the Cohansey River, you've got the Mananaco Creek, the Alloway Creek, all feeding into the bay and having an important impact on the Bayshore water quality. So the reason why we should be concerned about stormwater runoff is that it carries everything over the ground that it's running over. You know, in a more urban or suburban setting, what's going to happen is it's going to rain and maybe land on top of a roof or a parking lot, any kind of impervious surfaces where it can't go right into the ground. And it's going to run over that land until it finds a storm drain or a body of water to go directly into. And while it's doing that, it's going to pick up whatever is on that ground. Sometimes that's trash and litter, sometimes that's chemicals that people apply to their lawns and gardens, sometimes it's animal waste, which have a lot of bacteria. And then it's going to hit your storm drain and it's going to be piped directly into a stream. It'll be at a higher velocity than if it, traveled slowly through the ground. So maybe then it'll, rip up the sides of your stream bed a little bit and it'll eventually make its way all the way out to the bay. So we have a strong aquaculture industry in the Delaware Bay, and it's very important. It's also very fragile. It relies on a clean and healthy bay. So if we are allowing polluted rivers and streams to flow into the bay, it's going to harm that aquaculture industry.
I've been an oysterman almost 50 years. I guess my family's, I'm a fourth generation oysterman. We're in the town of Port Norris, but we're in an area that's called Shell Pile. And the reason it's called Shell Pile is because of the number of shucking houses that was in this area. We have very good water flow coming from the ocean up into the bay, and there's also a mix of fresh water that comes down to Delaware from New York, all the way down through Pennsylvania. Everything that goes on the roads goes into the woods, goes into the fields, and finally makes its way into the bay. With the stormwater runoff, I think one of the big thing is the erosion problems, which puts a lot of sediment into the bay, which is not good for oysters, not good for aquaculture. It'll cover them up and suffocate them. So anything that we do to stop the erosion along the bay shore or in the uplands is definitely a positive.
So in the state of New Jersey, we have a large number of rivers and streams that aren't safe to swim in, aren't safe to fish in, because of stormwater, because we have these high levels of bacteria, which is really caused by excess nutrients, which is traveling in through stormwater. What happens with this is you have harmful bacteria now breeding in your body of water, and that bacteria is eating up all your oxygen levels. So your dissolved oxygen in your water body is going to drop, and then you can end up with fish kills. Basically, if there's not enough oxygen in the water, the life inside of it can't survive. So if you're not properly managing your stormwater runoff, you're going to see increased flooding. This could be pluvial flooding or flash flooding, so maybe not something that happens directly along the side of your river or stream bed, but just in your city because you don't have enough drainage. I believe that the American Littoral Society and all of our partner organizations are making a difference. Because we're helping to improve water quality, we're helping to improve communities, we're helping to improve wildlife habitat all through these projects. And also making sure that that river stays clean. And to do that, you need to protect your small streams. To do that, you need to manage your stormwater and keep pollution out of your waterways.